It's good to have purpose. It's good to have purpose. I love football, wanted to be a football coach, never played it because I was too skinny. But I thought that was my purpose. Until one of my boys went out for football practice, and when he came to, he said he walked up, gave the coach the pads, the helmet, and said, "I'm out of here." And so when he told me that, and he weighed 20 pounds more than I did, common sense told me that was not my purpose. Now, what you need is the God-given pursuit of purpose. The God-given, there it is up on the screen. The God-given pursuit of purpose. Then you know you're in your purpose. You know you're in purpose. I know there's others here got great marriages, but I can only go by what I hear. When I heard Sister Hunt say at her husband's retirement, "I would marry him all over again." Well, if that's the case, they married in purpose.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
See, I'm one of them strange fellas. I ain't like most African Americans, men. Man, I don't want no woman making more than me. If she make 100,000, I'll make 50,000, and she want to be with me, baby, we in purpose.
Yes, sir. Put it on the table. Yes, sir.
I dropped my drink on that.
Yes, sir. Put it on the table. Yes, sir.
And she want to be with me and tell me I'm the man of the house and we getting along fine. We in purpose. I had a friend of mine back at NASA. He was a GS-14 at that time. That was big money. He was making over 30,000. There was another girl, she was running a machine. She wasn't making but $2 or $3 an hour. And she was a cutie pie. And I walked up to him and I told him, I said, "You got eyes for her?" He said, "No, that's not good economics." He said, "My wife make 35,000, she ain't making but 5. That ain't good economics." Just because it's good doesn't make it right. Reverend, you doing some hard teaching today. God had to speak to Moses about trying to do more than God had given him the task to do. God had to speak to Moses about trying to do more than his God-given task. God accomplished this through Jethro, Moses' father-in-law. I wasn't going there, but go back. Let me leave you alone today. Back in that 18th chapter of Exodus, and verses 14 through 18, when Jethro, you don't have to turn there. He told Moses, "This thing will wear you out. You trying to deal with people from sun up to sundown, you better find yourself some help." Am I making sense to anybody? Am I making sense to anybody? Read that when you go home. Now I want you to catch something. Moses was in purpose, but he was out of position. You got that, Deke? Moses was in purpose, but he was out of position. God told me it was your purpose to lead them. It's your purpose to get them through the Red Sea, but it's not your position to work all day long. Get you some help.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We hear you, Pastor.
You can't be all things to all people. Purpose and position. You can be in purpose but out of position. Now, go with me to the NIV, Proverbs, that 20th chapter. You can see I'm teaching today. Is anybody learning anything? Go to Proverbs, that 20th chapter, and that 5th verse from the NIV. The purposes of a man's heart are deep waters, but a man of understanding draws out of them. It's up on the screen.
Yes, sir.
The purposes of a man's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight draws them out.
Yes, sir.
Are you with me now? The thought and purposes of a man are hidden in his breast like deep waters. Like deep waters. If you are in purpose, if you are in purpose, you are like deep water. It made me feel good that when we took the broadcast off, preachers been calling me, telling me in so many words, we don't know what we're going to do. Well, I've been doing my purpose,
Yes, sir.
and you've been bootlegging off of my purpose.
Pastor's purpose. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now that you say God called you and you in purpose,
Yes, sir.
prove it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got to dig a little deeper now.
Now, we all borrow from one another, don't get me wrong. I've borrowed from Pastor Watson since he's been here. I've borrowed from Reverend Cosby. We all borrow from one another, but that don't mean I'm going to stop digging.
Bless him. Bless him.
Now, go with me to the 18th chapter of Proverbs and look at that 4th verse. The words of a man's mouth are as deep waters, and the wellspring of wisdom as a flowing brook. If you are operating in purpose, the work which comes from the mouth of wisdom are as deep as waters. How shallow is much, if not most, that is spoken in our hearing. But deep water ministers will minister to the life and growth of men. Purpose doesn't make life easy, it makes it possible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And as I get ready to close, God wants his people to be storm survivors. Joy in the midst of hell is the hallmark of those who have truly found God's purpose for their lives. Purpose both sets a course, often determining the end, and encourages the traveler along the way.
Come on, Pastor.
As I close, if you know that what you are doing is God's purpose for your life, relax, because he is the author and the finisher of your life and your destiny. The stormy journey of life, purpose both sets a course after determining the end and encouraging the traveler along the way. Some through the waters,
Hallelujah.
some through the flood,
Yes,
some through the fire,
come on, Lord.
but all through the blood. And so as I close, Pastor, you did all of this. What were you trying to tell us? Go back to Acts and go to the 23rd chapter of Acts and look at that 11th verse. Are you back? Go back to Acts 23
Yes, sir.
And look at that 11th verse. And look what the Lord told Paul. In the night following the Lord stood stood by him and said, Be of good cheer, Paul, for as thou hast testified of me in Jerusalem, so must thou bear witness also to me in Rome. Listen to me. When the promise was given to Paul that he would see Rome and bear witness there, no assurance was given of calm and an uneventful trip. He had to go through the storm, the voyage, and the shipwreck. That's how he had to get to his purpose. You have spoken for me in Jerusalem, and now you're going to have to speak for me in Rome. They thought they had reached their purpose, but Paul knew that his purpose was to get to Rome. They were worrying about making money. Paul's purpose was to preach the gospel in Rome. So I just stopped by today to tell you, the voyage will be rocky, but the landing will be safe. You're going to have some storms. You're going to have some ups and downs. Tony, you're going to lose a good job, but something else will show up. The voyage was rocky, but the landing will be safe. And here it is again. The storm is for your destruction, but your blessing is in the storm. The storm is for your destruction, but your blessing is in the storm. The voyage will be rocky, but the landing will be safe. So today, Lord, am I operating in purpose, or am I operating in self-made purpose? Lord, whatever I do, I want to make sure that I'm in your purpose. Amen.